Hi everyone, it's Mari. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a whole bunch of really gorgeous studio light products to share with you today. And I'm also going to be creating a project for you with some of those products. This is the card that I'm going to be making today. And the products that I'm going to be sharing are all holiday themed products. So this first one that I'm showing you here is a mask. This is just beautiful. It's mask 36. It's got some snowflakes and some, kind of like a forest silhouette on the bottom. It's just really beautiful. So there's actually a series of four masks in this release. And this one is mask 38. You can just see the beautiful design for this mask here. And this is the main die that I'm going to be using here today. This is SLES CD69. It makes a really, really fun card. And this is another one in this collection, CD71, that's also just really beautiful. This makes a kind of like a folding snowflake card element. It's beautiful. This next die set I'm also going to be using today for my project. This is CD60, and you can see that it has Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as part of it, as well as a bunch of snowflakes. This one is CD65 and has a bunch of layering snowflakes in it as well. Super pretty. This one's gorgeous too, CD63. You can cut out and make a tag, some trees, some foliage in all this whole series here of dies. And with this one here, CD64, you can see that there's a bunch of other snowflake elements that you can create. You can see that's part of that last die series as well. And this one, CD59, has some Dutch words in it, as well as some other elements. This one has a really nice finishing edge for a project as well with CD68. With this release, there's also a bunch of scrapbook papers. This paper here is Scrap 66. I am not showing these in the right order, but the range is 61 to 66 for numbers for these papers. And I am going to link up to all of these different papers in the description box below. This one is awesome because it's a cut apart sheet and it yields a ton of embellishments for all kinds of different projects. And I am going to be using some of those today on the card project that I'm going to be doing. So just beautiful. I love the colors. They're so pretty. And this one here is another cut apart page, so that this one yields a whole bunch of 4x3 cut aparts. You could cut the different elements out for projects as well. Love the back. Has a really beautiful pure white background with some foliage on it. It's so pretty. And I have linked up to all of the products, like I said, to the Ecstasy Crafts store, so that if you click on the links, you can go right over to the store and see these in the shop as well, with more of a description there as well. So love this paper. I think it's so whimsical and cute. It's just kind of got that watercolor look to it, but then there's that really sweet snowman in the corner with the Christmas tree element, and then there's just a really beautiful border on this paper as well. These pages are beautiful for all kinds of different projects, including planner pages. If you're doing a memory planner, or if you do 12 by 12 pages, these pages can also be used for card making. Just lots of different ways to use these gorgeous, gorgeous pages. They're just like pieces of art. I love them. They're gorgeous. So this one, again, beautiful. It has the lantern in the corner, and then there's the poinsettias and some different kind of like images here, the watercolor look of the trees in the forest, and kind of like the sense that there's some snow. So beautiful. And this one here is one of my favorites. I love this, with a little robin in the corner, and then the beautiful roses and poinsettias, the foliage, and just absolutely stunning. Just so pretty. And I'm going to show you the back as well here, I do believe. Just waiting to flip it over. There we go. And this back one has a gorgeous border on it, as well as those really pretty little bells and the berries. All of the different little cut aparts on the cut apart paper as well coordinate with the images in these different pages as well. There's also a coordinating paper pad with these collections. This is the Christmas paper pad SLES PP07. This paper is really nice and heavy. You can see that the papers are double-sided, so that there's a darker and a lighter shade for each paper. You can see really, really nice and thick. Gorgeous. I didn't end up using this paper pad today in my project because I'm saving it for a class that I want to teach, but I did use I am just going to show you here, sorry, how nicely this Christmas paper pad coordinates with this collection of scrapbooking papers. So look at the beautiful blue tones, how nicely they coordinate there. Really beautiful. The reds and the kind of the light pink tones, burgundy, just so beautiful. And then there's also the really bright traditional Christmas red as well. There's also kind of like fall tones in here as well. So you could actually even use this paper pad for some of your fall projects. But I just love that two-tone green. So beautiful for making cards where you're going to see up two different sides of the paper as well. Really pretty. And I just love that really lovely kind of a mauvey color. Looks so pretty with the roses in that scrapbooking paper. So that is the paper pad that you can get that is has the Christmas colors in it, and gorgeous. So now I'm going to get to making my card today. So I am going to be using that die that I showed you earlier with the star cutaway on the side. I have used some cardstock from my stash to create my project today. I'm using like a traditional red and a traditional Christmas green. These are really heavy cardstock papers, like I said, from my stash, and I've cut each of those out twice so that I can get started on my project. All of these dies are part of that die set, so really, really cool. I'm going to get this first layer of green down onto that red base, and I'm just eyeing it up here. I've got it on there with a little bit of liquid adhesive. Now this is a coordinating die that's also part of the set that cuts out a little star embellishment area there for the side of the card. I love that. There's a few different ways that you could use this. What I did was I cut it out of the top portion of my card, and then you'll see how I'm going to use that as an embellishment area for my project. I'm going to get the second or the inside of my card ready to go as well, just by going ahead and adhering that green cardstock to the red again with my liquid adhesive. So the one that has the stars cut out is going to be the top or the outside of my card. And then this one that I'm working on here is the inside of the card. So I'm just getting that stuck down. I love that really pretty forest green. I'm just taking a ruler and I'm going to line it up on where I want my card to fold. So this is my card front. I'm just going to put it onto where those holes are there on the front of the card. Just going to just gently fold that over. The die does actually score that for you, so there's no worries with getting that lined up properly, to just fold that over a little bit to reinforce that fold for your card. Now I'm going to glue on the back of the star area here. I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive in a few areas there around the stars, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the base. Just going to make sure that I have enough liquid adhesive on here so that this is actually going to stay put on the card. I don't want this to come apart. Obviously, this is how the card is going to be stuck together. So I'm just going around all of those different little areas there, making sure that I have an adequate amount of adhesive. Not too much. I don't want it to ooze out all over the place, but just enough so that it is going to provide some nice adhesion there. So here you can just see it's so easy to line up. I'm going to line those two areas up there onto the base or the second layer of my card or the inside. And now you can just see that I have also taken that same star die and I've die cut that from some silver glitter cardstock here. And so I'm going to use the offcuts, the stars that popped out from that, to fill in the stars that are cut out from the red paper. So you can just see how these are just going to inlay into those areas nicely. And I'm going to just painstakingly take the time. And this did take a little bit of time, but it was super relaxing. And I did enjoy this process for sure. So I'm just going to, you could either put the glue on the star or on the inlay area. And I'm just going to take those and insert them into that area there. And that's just going to provide a really nice embellishment for the front of the card. Super easy to do. Just takes a little bit of time, like I said. So, and through the magic of video editing, there's going to be a little bit of a transition here, and you'll see that I will have finished all of those different glitter stars. And I won't use up all of the stars here. I actually ended up cutting I left the red ones off to the side that were offcuts when I die cut out the red cardstock, and I cut the silver twice so that I would have stars for embellishing my card as well. So I'm going to use some of the red and silver cards for embellishments. So there you can see that's all nice and glued together. It's really nicely adhered so that there's no issues. And you can stand this card up when the main parts of the card there are open. It nicely stands up, and so that the recipient of this card can display it if they choose. Now these two dies are part of the die set. Obviously they are layering pieces. So the largest piece I used for the green cardstock, and then I cut this second piece out of a piece of patterned paper. Now you could use the Ultimate Scrap, those new papers that I showed you there. Because I was using paper from my stash, I used an older collection of Studio Light pattern paper. This is from last year's Christmas collection, but that's because I didn't use that Christmas paper pad, the cardstock paper pad. I used papers from my stash. So I wanted to use the green watercolory kind of a background, which really does go nicely too with the cut apart paper, that paper 66. And these are some of those cut aparts from that paper. So this is the Christmas tree, really super cute. And this is one of the little cut apart, another cut apart embellishment. And we're just going to pop this one up on some foam adhesive for a little bit of dimension. So there's a little hot chocolate, a little bit of Christmas cake there. Love how those pair together. Now this die set here that I showed you earlier in the video has the Merry Christmas as part of it. The Merry Christmas die cut separately, and then there's a backing piece that you can cut out as well. So I cut out the backer with green cardstock and the Merry Christmas out of the same red cardstock that I used for the rest of the project. And I cut them out actually 3 times so that the Merry and Christmas are layered together. There's 3 pieces of Merry layered together and 3 pieces of Christmas layered together so that those pieces are really nice and dimensional and pop off of that green backer really nicely. Now I'm also going to be using those, like I said, those little stars that are left over. I'm going to pop one up on some foam adhesive and put one of the silver sparkly ones on top of the tree. And the Merry Christmas I'm going to put over in that area to the left of the Christmas tree. That's the open space there. That seems like an obvious spot to put the sentiment. I'm going to adhere that down with a little bit of liquid adhesive here. And then I'm just going to put in a few more of my little stars here and there on the project. I'm just going to finish putting a few of these other little stars in a few places here on the front of the card. I'm going to place some of the red ones and more of the silver glitter ones around the little open areas here, just to add a little bit more detail on the project. And any of these little stars that I have left over, I definitely will place in a little container so that I can use them on projects for another time. Now I also wanted to do some detail on the inside of the card as well. I'm going to be using another die from my stash. This is a Planner Elements Essential die. It's SLPES-CD09, and there's a little pocket element that's part of that die set here that gives you this die, and it's all stitched, or it gives you this die cut, I should say, and it has all this really fun stitched detail around the edges. Now what I'm going to do is add some liquid adhesive to the 3 kind of like, well, 2 sides and then the bottom portion here that's cut down into a V to make it look kind of like a pocket. And I'm going to leave the top edge open because that will allow me to stuff this pocket with some different things that I might want to put in it. So I'm going to embellish that with some of the little die cut pieces from that scrapbooking paper 66 that has all of the cut aparts, and another one of the silver sparkly stars. So I'm just going to embellish the left lower side of this pocket. And you can see that there's 3 little slots in that pocket that you can stuff full of all kinds of goodies for the recipient of this card. So if you wanted to make the card a gift card holder, you're actually going to give them a gift inside of the card. This is a really fun way to include that and just make it a little bit extra special. So just using more of those little stars, trying to use up some of them, and the two little die cut pieces that I trimmed out and fussy cut. One is a little gift box, a gift box, and the other one is a gift bag. I just thought those were super cute. I am going to layer one of the silver sparkly stars over top of a red star to embellish the inside of the card. Now, to finish the front of the card off, I wanted to add a little bit of bling, sparkle, and shine. So I'm going to do that with some red, silver, and clear stickles. And I think actually that it's not clear stickles, they're the diamond stickles. And you'll just see me here adding those just for that little extra bit of detail. So I'm adding the silver to the white baubles on the Christmas tree and the red to the red. And then I think I'm adding the diamond sparkles just in the leftover areas kind of here and there. So you'll just see me spreading those sparkles around the card. And this is the diamond stickles here. Just going to finish up with the diamond. And I also wanted to use a little bit of dimensional glue. If you have glossy accents in your stash, I use the Nouveau Crystal Glaze. If there's some other product that you have, maybe from Cosmic Shimmer or something like that, that would work. But this dries clear and dimensional, so it's a super, super thick glue that takes quite a while to dry, but it's really fun because it adds a lot of dimension. So I just added it to the marshmallows and the hot chocolate. And here I'm just holding this into the light so that you can see all of the beautiful details on this card front. This was so much fun to make. And all of these different die elements, die cut elements, and the different dies that work together as part of this collection are just so much fun. Now that die set, the planner element die, also has this little ticket element that you can use. And I thought that would be really fun to cut. It's a layering element, and I thought it would just be really fun to put into the pocket. This is an example of a business card just to emulate using a gift card on the inside of the pocket there, but you can just see how easy it is to stuff things into the pockets. You could put into some of those different slots. You could put some photographs. You could put just really anything that you could think of that would slide into those little areas there that would be perfect for a little gift, a little message, a little note, anything like that. It would be really nice. Thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget to check out the description box below to all of the different products in the Ecstasy Crafts shop that are linked up to the different products that I showed you today or that I used for this project. I had so much fun and I love Studio Light. It is an amazing product line. Have an amazing day, friends. Stay safe, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.